Well, good morning and welcome to COVID-19 broadcast from TravelMole. I'm delighted today to have a friend of mine, Chris Brown, from a company called Trusted Trip, talk to us about some of his new developments, his new software. Not that new now, though, Chris, is it?
No, it's not. We've actually been working on this since November last year. So we're actually approaching our first year's anniversary, and it hasn't actually been a very good year.
Yeah, a fantastic year to launch a new technology company.
Yeah, I think I said to the wife, I said, if you were going to pick a time to start a brand new startup in travel using somebody else's money, you wouldn't have chosen this year to do it. But here we are.
Chris, you're fairly long in the tooth as far as tech development is concerned. You've been down this path before. What's changed? What do you think is new? What are you looking for in the marketplace now that perhaps you weren't 10 to 15 years ago?
I think in terms of what's changed, I think it's just an evolution. So, you look back at what I was doing 18 years ago now when I started Holiday Watchdog, and, it was all very basic HTML websites. The web was very new back then. Not many people were using it. We're talking back in the day where if you said API to a travel agent, they'd think you were speaking a foreign language because they weren't really using them. Fast forward a bit further, probably another 8-9 years to when we had Sunshine, and we were dynamically packaging online. The industry was really taking hold of that. Again, APIs, they were becoming quite prevalent then. That's the right word. I can never say it. And now come forward again, and I think we've now got to a point where technology within travel has progressed enough that we can start talking about data without people getting scared, I think is the right word. So, we'll talk about what I'm doing with Trusted Trip at the minute, but I actually came up with the concept about 8 years ago. And for the concept of Trusted Trip to work, I need travel agents to share with me their data. And if you said that to a travel agent 8 years ago and said, I need your data from you, they would have said, you're not having my booking data, you're going to give it to somebody else. Whereas now everybody's quite fair, they're quite happy to share a bit of data. So I think in terms of where the development's been, not necessarily, and I know that's not a specific technology advancements, but I think data as a piece of tech within travel is the big thing now. And we're at a point now where we can start to use that to make things better.
Okay. Now, as far as Trusted Trip is concerned, I mean, there are, from a layman's point of view, there are lots of review systems around and lots of things that you can say, oh, I didn't like that, or I did like that. And even down to, the basic, big systems like Facebook, you can go on and say, I didn't like this, or I didn't particularly want to do this, or this was fantastic. Yeah. What space in the market did you detect, or have you ascertained there to be, and how are you exploiting that?
Yeah, so I think, yes, there are lots of other review platforms around, and there's actually there's a multitude of reasons why there's a space that exists that we're kind of moving into. The biggest one is verification. So obviously one of the big pieces of this in the media on a frequent basis is fake reviews, and that's not just in travel, that's everything. I saw there was a piece on Amazon just yesterday on BBC about Amazon, more about fake reviews, that problem they have there. But from a travel industry perspective, everyone has a big issue with fake reviews, specifically on TripAdvisor. They're the biggest. I'm not outing them, but they're around. And then also, we've got this piece around a lot of travel agents now are moving into an area where they have a website and they want to pull review content through to their website. So they need an API to do that. Where do they go to get that API of reviews? They go to TripAdvisor. And not the easiest API to get hold of. And it has its limitations. There's lots of brand law, rules and guidelines. And once you get past their free version, which is difficult, again, like I said, to get hold of, it does cost money to use it. And one of the conversations I remember having with an agent was, I am selling a holiday to a consumer based on a bunch of reviews that might possibly be fake. So someone's now booking a hotel in the Mediterranean. They think it's going to be amazing because reviews say so. They get there, it's crap because the reviews are fabricated, whether they're by the hotel owner or an agent that's trying to sell that hotel. And now I've got a customer that's complaining, and now that's my fault. So I was really looking at how do we solve the problem of verified reviews? How do we get past that? And it really literally comes down to the only way we can do it is by, if we take a look at someone like Booking.com as an example, or even Expedia, they collect their own reviews for their own products. So when you go to Booking.com or Expedia, every review they show you is a verified review. It's from a real customer. Great model, but outside of their own brand, there's nothing going on. There's nothing happening. So, you take lots of smaller agents. So if we can take someone, and when I say small, they're not small by any means, but if I can take someone, for example, like the size of, say, someone like Barhead Travel or Mid-Counties, they are huge travel agencies. But if you went to them and said, why aren't you collecting your own reviews? They all turn around and say to you, well, we would, but we can't collect enough meaningful data to compete with someone like TripAdvisor. So the concept was really simple. It's like, okay, so let's use a number. I've got 10 small agents, and together they make one big TripAdvisor size agent. It's not real numbers I'm using, just to say there. How can I get them to work together? And that's really where we sort of came up with Trusted Trip. Was the space in the market is to bring the industry together, not just OTAs, but suppliers as well, and anyone that really sells a travel product to a consumer, where we can then go to that consumer and collect their verified review, bring all that data together and essentially pull it into a single place. I think I like to use the word syndicated. A lot of people don't know what it means, aggregate different things, but the example I use is if you, Graham, you go and book the Four Seasons with a travel agent A, and Trusted Trip collects your verified review, and now Trusted Trip's holding your review of the Four Seasons from travel agent A, and I book with travel agent B, and I book the same hotel, I get a review form come through via Trusted Trip, and I leave my review as a consumer. Trusted Trip now, I have 2 reviews in my database for Four Seasons and 2 agents that have sent them. So what I will now do is, using my API, we will send those reviews back to the agent in their entirety. So agent B will get your review and my review no matter where I booked. So what it really is about is pooling all of this verified data into a single place and then sharing it back out to the industry and saying, under no uncertain terms, these reviews are real. Every single person that left a review, whether it's for a hotel, a flight, a cruise, a transfer, a car hire, an attraction, they all exist. They all actually made a purchase, they went there, they did it, they traveled on it, and they've come back and they've left their feedback. So there's no question of, is this fake or is somebody fabricating the truth? And that was really
one of the things, however, though, is that, Trusted Trip, obviously we know it because we're talking about it, but the consumer at large will not know Trusted Trip. Is that one of the issues? I mean, you're competing against a brand that almost impossible to compete against TripAdvisor in terms of brand recognition.
Oh, absolutely. That is a massive sort of early issue for us. And I don't think it's completely a lost cause. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing. But I think that, or we know that part of our early game plan and part of what we're trying to do now, and it kind of links together, is, I need to get the consumer on side. I need to get the industry on side. So to get the industry on side, I need to do something within the industry itself. And that's not just within the UK. We do have interest outside of the UK as well. And one of those things that we're looking at doing, or we are doing now, as a result of COVID, is we've bent our product. So I know we've spoken before about how we can manipulate and change the way we collect reviews and data to do something that's a bit more than just a review of a hotel or just a review of a flight. So, we're talking about the current COVID situation. Could we build something into a review form that essentially asks a question of somebody, how was the social distancing measures in place at the hotel you went to? Because some might be better than others, you don't know. So we decided that we would launch a service review product. So again, coming back to your question shortly, a little while ago, where you said there's lots of reviews sort of platforms in the market space. Yes, and there are, a couple of the large notable ones. It's Trustpilot and FIFO doing the service reviews. So a service review, in case someone doesn't know, is essentially rather than me asking Graham, how was your experience at this hotel? I will ask you how your experience of booking the hotel was, or as the current platforms currently exist, are saying, how was your buying experience? So how was the service you received when you bought something? So we sort of sat down, we looked at what we built in terms of our solution, we looked at what's available to the travel industry, and we said, you know what, the travel industry is using a generic retail model to try and collect a service review from their customers. There's nothing exists within the travel industry for the travel industry. It says to a consumer, how is your booking experience? So what we've done is we've kind of built and launched this, and actually we've launched it for free. And the reason we've launched it for free is because it's great marketing for us. It gets our brand out into the industry and sort of answers your question, how we're going to get it out there. And the second part is people are struggling at the minute. You know, people are cutting their costs left, right, and centre. And I know for a fact the first budget that goes, because mine did, is your marketing budget. And a lot of these service review platforms are tied to marketing budgets. So we're trying to help alleviate that pain point of, and we've already spoken to a lot of agents where they say, well, I really need to still collect these reviews, but I don't have the funds to do it. And actually, will Mrs. Brown from down the road, will she really care about how someone's booking experience was pre-COVID anymore? Probably not. You know, we're in a new world now. We need to reinvent the way we service our customers, and that will change the way people want to rate us. So that's what we're trying to address from that point of view. And then
if an agent engages with you, do they put their, you know, so I'm an agent and I get reviews of my clients about holidays, the buying experience, etc., etc. Do I have the option of putting up those on my own website? And if so, does it help with my SEO?
For the service reviews, no and yes. So with the service reviews, we've obviously got widgets and all the cool things that you can put on your website. You can show your rating. You will be able to pull through reviews via a widget, but it won't be something that will be indexable in an SEO perspective, just because of the nature of some service reviews come through as one-liners and they don't really carry as much weight as like a nice juicy bit of text. However, when we talk about the product reviews, the hotels, the flights, the transfers, if you as an agent were generating maybe 50 or 100 or 200 reviews a day for a variety of different hotels, they come into our database, we moderate them, and then we fire them back out to you via the API. The way the API is structured is that you will be able to take the SEO value of the reviews that your company has generated. So, for example, if I have 200 reviews now for the Four Seasons Hotel and 50 of them that you have generated, those first 50 reviews that appear on your site, you will be able to have them indexed by search engines. It will count towards your page rank, your page weighting. But the additional 150, you will still be able to pull those through, but they won't be indexable because they're someone else's reviews. We will release your review content to you before it gets released into the general portal to give you time to get it indexed. But yeah, we understand that, you know, even if an agent, you know, I go back to my Sunshine days, if I was generating a lot of unique content, which we all know content's the gold in the internet world, I would want to use it. So yes, you are having to pay us for a service of collecting your customers' reviews and to pull back on the API, but what's the ROI for the agent? And the ROI is they want that content back to users SEO. So from a product perspective, flights, cruises, hotels, yes, you'll be able to pull the content back for SEO. Service reviews, no, because service reviews is more about just the rating and a number.
Okay. So in summary, you've got this new-ish whiz-bang, a year-old whiz-bang piece of software that will allow agents, various people to be able to get genuine reviews and get the benefits from that from their real data. And if they're prepared to share that data with you, even if they have very, very restricted budgets as we speak today, you want to hear from them.
Absolutely.